Hi folks, welcome back to the boring video but amazing education channel, the station that gives you the information you need to know, but it's really not about the video, it's for listening to. Okay, so on your way to maybe generational wealth, financial no worry, you have a financial planner working for you. How are you doing it? Well, this is maybe video number 14. It's real estate, owning real estate, but I'm not pushing, I'm not trying to sell anything other than please watch these videos, like, thumbs up, and subscribe. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so to make money, the number one way to get to millionaire net worth status, it's through real estate. And it's not really a bad idea if you have the time, if you have the income, and people can pay for it. Buy a house and rent out the rooms. Don't be shy. If you're a law-abiding girl or guy, you can do it and work, a regular job, or maybe you can't, depending on your health. But you can have a property manager, financial advisor, use services, and you can get to financial stability, or even have good income. And they call it passive income. If you have a property manager, yes, it can be very passive. Maybe just an hour a month. It's not 100% passive, semi-passive. That's why I say they call it, I don't call it passive income. All right, so topic: how do you go about choosing, and if you need to, delaying people that want to rent your place because you're looking for somebody better. And normally you sort of need to, you definitely need to treat everybody in a fair manner and use the same criteria and communicate with them and say, well, let me give you an example. So I have people that have viewed my rental house. They want to rent it. They've told me they're only going to live there a year or two. I don't like that. I'm trying to delay that because I want somebody who will live there a longer time, so I don't have to waste time searching for good new people. It takes a lot of time. You can lose a month or 2 or 6 months of rent where you earn nothing. Is that good? I don't think so. Because somebody moves out, you need to find somebody new, and it could take you months and months. All right, so, and I don't have long-term people that have toured the house and liked it and said they want to rent. But they are out there and they've contacted me. So it's just, we haven't scheduled the tour and there's a slight delay. And in case you're wondering, okay, so if you're new to this, this is gonna probably help you. So people often look for a place to live with about 6 weeks or 8 weeks to go before they move. And it might sound strange because in college, if you go to college, it's a tight housing market, and you're thinking about it the year before. Now, I know not everybody goes to college. The majority of Americans don't graduate from college. But anyway, it's a situation where you might be looking for a place to live a year and a half in advance. But because of the job market and how people move, they get a new job, and the new job might be starting in 2 weeks, and they need to move, and they need to find a place. And so they might want a place immediately. Like, I want it now. So when you have a rental house or apartment or whatever it is, condo, those people, they might want it almost immediately. And sometimes they can make a decision immediately. But that means for you, if somebody is moving out and the people that do want the place, however soon they want it, might not be qualified. There could be a reason. They may be kicked out, evicted, financially in some strange situation. It's not easy to find qualified people if you're asking a lot of money. And they would want to negotiate lower rents. And, even people are going to look for housing when they don't even need housing, or they're just pondering it and they haven't even sold a house that they live in already. So yes, all of these situations have occurred to me just this year. So you'll get used to it. There's a learning curve, as they say. So, but anyway, so you're going to face the situation, and what do you say when you need the money? You want the rents to come in, but somebody's not going to stay long enough. So what can you do? And if you reject them, you may not find anybody for months and months. Then you're actually causing the problem that you were trying to solve. You didn't want a short-term person because you would have an empty house in 12 months. But now you're making sure that you do have an empty house right now by not taking somebody in. Can you hear the birds singing? It's the old bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And what does that really mean? It means the people that you haven't found yet, or that haven't signed a lease yet, they have to be twice as good as the person that you already found to be good, assuming you've done the financial background checks. I recommend using Smart Move. Just look it up. Double check all this information, do your own research. And so anyway, however, if the people that come along do look twice as good as whoever you have, so I'll give you the delaying tactics right now. So you can delay them by telling them, well, they're the most qualified. It looks like they will be able to sign a lease, and other people have seen the property before them. They're first in priority. Now, there has to be true information. I'm not advocating lying to them, but that just means it gives you a means of delaying. So you've got the best person. There are other people, because there are always multiple people, unless they were the first person, in which case you might have to just be a little more blunt and say, you were the first one to look. But other people, they want long-term housing, and it puts them higher in priority. So, if you just explain in a reasonable way why it's really not strange for you to wait, and just say, I'm still waiting for final documentation to be able to make a decision and make you number one. So what does that do? It makes the person who you want to hold on to, they're the most qualified at the time, but you think somebody else is actually going to be better because for whatever reason, as I said, maybe they're willing to stay longer. Maybe they look financially to be in a better position. Could be financially, could be their character, the way you communicate, whatever criteria it is that you like about somebody else or you don't like about your so-called number one, who's actually you're hoping won't rent because you secure somebody better. All right, so, and then you can say, I will know by a certain date that you will be able to sign a lease. So just hold on, just put it like that way. And so that makes them feel like they're the most important, but because of certain things, which you can put in a way makes sound like, you don't really expect it to come through. You can actually say that. I don't really expect their information to come through. They're not committed. And so, just truthfully downplay. So those are all things, especially they're not committed part, and you don't expect the information to come true. Well, a lot of people don't come true or come through with the information, you could say, within a certain period of time. Like, I don't expect it to come through by the end of the week because of how long it's already been, something like that. And so it makes them stay positive. So why do you want the person that is second rate but still number one in finishing their documentation? Why do you want to hold on to them and string them along? They could just drop you altogether and say like, oh, this is taking so long, I'm being strung along. Well, that's true. So only do it if they've said that yours is the place that they want. They're very eager. So then that works, And and if you've already said that they have the place, and then suddenly you bump them, you've opened up a can of worms there. So don't do that. Even apologizing and going back is not going to repair the relationship. You've stuck your foot in your mouth, and maybe even legally. So, don't say it's theirs and then go back unless you learn some new negative information, or they, cause you just cause to say, hey, this is not how I operate, and because of XYZ behavior, which could be maybe they don't pay. Like, you could say, well, you can pay the security deposit and first month's rent at the signing of the lease. Then if they don't do that, then you can pull out and say, well, no, actually that doesn't work. And you can, you want to get really tricky? Oh my gosh. So, ultra trick, which just sounds mean, but it's, it's because, so this is what's happening. Somebody told me they're just going to rent for 6 months, but they're willing to commit to a 12-month lease. So, and you might not believe me. Well, guess what? It was the husband that said they're looking for 6 months. The wife says willing to commit to 12 months. So, there you go. And so in a situation like this, or whatever other